So friends, in this session we are going to think about eradication of worries. This concluding session is going to be handled by our respected senior professor Krish Murali Eswar. A short introduction of him. He is from Bangalore. He got his initiation in the year 1984 when he was a student. He became master in Sky Yoga in the year 1987. He is one of the direct disciples of our Guru Vedanti Maharishi. He has 4 decades of experience in simplified Kundalini Yoga. He served as CEO of various MNCs both India and abroad. He has now completely dedicated himself to Vedantriyam. He is now the director of IT wing in World Community Service Center. So, on behalf of all of us, I request our respected sir to handle this class, Eradication of Worries. Welcome, sir.
Be blessed by divine, be the Almighty source and Guru, always be there, protecting us, guiding us, leading us, supporting us, creating at all times and always sending all our duties. Dear friends, in the last, I think about 20-25 years or so, this phrase, this word called stress has become popular. If you are in Google, you will find in Google Trends that the number of searches related to stress is going up, causing too much stress for everyone. Before that, it didn't exist. Right? When we were young, maybe in 1980s,
I think stress management.
Yeah, so the word stress didn't exist in our vocabulary at all. Why is it so? What can we do about it? Is there a solution for it? Is there a method or a process that will help us to completely remove, get rid of, eradicate stress, worries, fears in our life? In the next about 40-50 minutes or so, we are going to learn a practical method which will help us to get rid of worries, stress, fears in our life. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Wonderful. I like your enthusiasm because it clearly shows that there's a lot of stress that we want to combat and overcome. Alright. Worry in our lives has become a daily routine. Everybody is worried for all kinds of reasons. We are worried because we are going to get married, or we have fallen in love with somebody and therefore we are worried. We don't know whether the marriage will be accepted well, whether my parents will accept well. We go and talk to our parents and parents agree, so we are happy. And then the next worry starts. Will their parents accept? So we go and talk to them, they accept. So wonderful, okay, so that worry is gone. Then the next worry comes. How will the marriage process be? Will everything go smooth? So that's another worry that begins. Okay, we get married, and the next worry starts. We take our spouse, our wife to a saree shop. Stress increases, right? Then okay, we cross that worry, but then the next worry comes, our parents, their parents keep asking us, alright, very good, one milestone crossed. How about the next milestone? What is the next milestone? Baby. So that's stress pills.
No.
Alright?
Boy or girl?
Boy or girl, that's another bigger worry, right? Now once let's say that the conceivement that happens, we are all happy, but the next worry starts. Okay, will the child be happy? Will the child be healthy? Will the mother be healthy? The child is born, we are ecstatic. The next worry begins, right? Immediately nowadays, especially in India, the worry starts. Will the child get admission in school? How old is the child? 2 days old. 1 day old. The worry begins in parents' mind nowadays. Very, very unfortunate. But stress, education is causing so much of stress. Okay, the child goes to a school, you are very happy, the next worry comes exams. Every time a child goes through LKG, UKG, first standard, second standard, all the way up to 10th standard, the father, mother is also studying along, especially the mother. Correct? See, she has a child at home, I think. How old is she, ma? He or she? 8th standard. There you go. Okay. Right? Whatever she did not study in her 8th standard, now she has to study. Poor lady. And the poor mother has to study it again. Okay, the child studies very well, and then he has to go to college. Another worry. Which stream of education? Engineering or medical college? That's another worry that begins. Already goes and joins a particular college, comes out and job worry. Job gets, then another worry. Will the child get married? So the whole drama starts again, right? Another generation of worries begin with the whole process repeats. So I'm just giving you a flavor of a few examples of worries, but we can see that worries are there everywhere. There seems to be an endless, limitless supplies of worries in our life. But first, what arises, what raises in our mind is not worry. What raises in our mind is desire. What raises in our mind is expectation. When there is a desire, when there is an expectation, automatically there comes a promise at the other end of the coin.
Where there is worry, there is a desire. Where there is a worry, there is an expectation. Where there is an expectation or a desire, there is a promise worry. Is it possible, sir, to have a worry without expectation or desire? Impossible. We expect something from somebody. If we believe that desire cannot be fulfilled, then it translates itself into stress, into worry in us. So what do we need to work on if we need to get rid of worries? Expectation and desires. Yeah, right. It's so easy, right? Okay, class is over. You can all go. All right, I told you, finish teaching. Get rid of your expectation. Get rid of your desires. Get rid of your worries. Is it easy? I know. What is the point in living without expectation, without desire? So there is a challenge in us. We cannot live without certain expectations, certain desires. But at the same time, do we enjoy stress? Do we enjoy worries? We don't. We don't like it. We do not want worries, but we somehow need to find happiness. We somehow need to figure out how we can fulfill our desires, fulfill our expectations without getting disappointed, without falling prey to this vile emotion called worries. You have already handled or learned and dealt with anger, isn't it? In the morning you would have dealt with anger. Now you would have learned in that anger class that the number one reason for anger is the same thing. Expectation, desire. Without expectation, desire, there is no anger. Now what is the difference between worry and anger? Both are similar emotions. Anger is on the other person, worry is on yourself. The energy that comes up to overcome the obstacle to fulfill the desire, if it is shown, that energy, that raising of this volcano that erupting from within, if you can show it on another person, it is anger. If you show it on yourself in a passive way,
not necessarily active way. If you hit yourself, that is still anger.
But you don't hit yourself, you don't hit out on others, but it is there as a simmering heat. Either it turns itself into vengeance over a period of time, or it turns itself into stress or worries in your mind. Do you understand the difference between the two? It is the same root cause. One example I will give you. You are going in a car. As you are going in a car, new car, brand new, you have taken it out of the showroom, you are taking it to your home. Alright? On the way, one auto fellow comes, tadak, cuts across and gives a small scratch in front of your car. What is the first emotion you get? New car, brand new car, 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs you have bought, and you're taking it out of the showroom and you're bringing it to your home, and there's a scratch right in front because of the carelessness of an auto driver in front of you. What do you get? What do? You want to get out of the door, get out of the car and thrash that fellow. This is anger. Now you are getting out of the car, about to thrash that fellow, and he gets out of the auto, and then you realize that he is about 3 times larger in size and double your height. What comes to you? Worries. Now I'm angry, I can't show it on this fellow, I can't talk to him, he's going to thrash me back. In one hit I'm going to fly into another end of the town. So obviously I'm not going to be able to handle this. So you just ask him gently, sir, sir, can't you please take care of yourself? Why did you come so? So you ask him politely, but then you are so worried, new car, what happened, the scratch, what do I do? Okay. Much later, of course, 2-3 years later, you will realize the scratch is a part of life. It's like getting married. Okay. Scratches are part of married life, like the scratches are part of driving car in city. Worry arises when anger fails to serve its purpose. If anger is useful to fulfill our ambitions, fulfill our desires and expectation, then we will take the tool. It is still a vile emotion, a useless emotion. We have inherited that emotion from our forefathers. Who were they, sir? Even before human beings, monkeys, right? Apes, animal kingdom. They require anger because they cannot think strategically as much as we can. They can't use tools. They can't, most of them don't have hands, therefore they can't use their hands. They can use their teeth, or they can use their horns, they can have legs, for instance. They can use their, beyond that they can't use anything. They can't take a dagger out, and take a gun out. They can't create an army for themselves and strategically place them in various positions. They can't send a Scud missile. They can't have a F-16 machine. None of that is possible. So anger is useful to protect the territory, protect their life. Whereas we human beings can strategically use other resources. We can train a virus, for instance, and send it out to the planet and have a chemical war. We can send out atomic bombs. We can send out trained mercenaries. We can get rid of enemies by strategically working behind their back. It can be a single enemy or multiple enemy, a country as an enemy, or a group of people as a enemy, or a single human being who happens to be my competitor in my job, in my office. If we find that somebody is performing better than me and I want to get ahead of him, and I know that he is blocking my process, I will use anger. I will use my anger strategically to make him lose. But unfortunately, in the process of doing that, I also fall prey to this vile emotion called anger. But if it is not useful, then it converts itself into my worry. If the opponent is, let us say, in my office, is a favorite of my boss, then I get worried. Yo, this fellow is a favorite of my boss. No matter what I try, I am probably not going to get this promotion. He is going to get it. What do? This worry then eats into our psyche. When do we worry? We worry when there is a expectation-reality mismatch. Like stock and supply. We want certain things in our life, but we don't have enough supply of it. Then the worry eats into our mind. When there is a conflict, it leads into worry. We are, let us say, wanting to watch a particular movie, Jailer movie. It has just been released in Amazon Prime. We want to watch Jailer movie. But our spouse decides that Jailer is a useless movie. Okay, he or she might have already heard about this movie somewhere else and saying that it is full of violence from beginning to end. Okay, every part of the body is getting cut in at least one scene or the other. including the ears and hands and legs and head. And so why do we want to sit and watch such violence movie? We are meditators, we don't want to watch. Let us watch something more meaningful. Maybe sit and watch Swamiji's speech. So conflict. The conflict then gets into either arguments or gets into anger tantrums, or it turns itself into worry. Without a conflict between expectation and reality, between two people, worry cannot exist in that particular environment. Wrong calculation leads to worry. Desire versus ability. I run a YouTube channel, and in that YouTube channel, I post videos. However, I find that I am not good enough, let us say, to make videos that million people can watch. Useless videos are getting 1 million views. Now I am thinking and I am worried. I don't have the ability to make videos that 1 million people can watch at a time. But my desire is that this simplified Kundalini yoga system of our Guru Yogiraj Sri Vedatri Maharishi should reach the world. Millions of such people should benefit from it. My desire is good, not wrong. It is a noble desire, but my ability, I'm not a marketing person. I'm not an expert in YouTube. I'm not a social media personality, and I have not done great videos that have been seen by millions of people. I have made 1,000 videos in my YouTube channel. Less than 100 videos are seen by more than about 100,000 people. Not even 10% is going. But whereas there are people who have made 15 videos, 20 videos, each one is being seen by 10 lakh, 1 million people or so. So there is a difference between desire and ability. Wherever there is a difference between desire and ability, it leads to either anger or it leads to worry. Imagination versus reality leads to worry. You ask yourself, expectation, can it exist in your mind without your imagination? Is it possible? No? Absolutely not. Every expectation of ours is our own imagination only. Justified or not justified is a different story. I'm not arguing with that. It may be justified, it may be genuine, it may be something that, for instance, I want my daughter to get up in the morning and exercise every morning. Bad thought, good thought. Bad desire, good desire. Right? It seems like a good one. I wish that she becomes healthy, she stays healthy, she does her exercises. She has a small child. The child is 2.5 years old. You know what 2.5 years old child is, right? They call this the terrible two in the Western societies. This is one of the mischievous age when the child is exploring the world and therefore doesn't go to sleep on time. She wants to participate in every conversation that's happening in every room in the house. Even if it happens at 1 o'clock in the night, she is awake. She wants to touch and feel everything. She wants to be mischievous. Therefore, my daughter doesn't get adequate. Only time she can get to sleep is when the child is sleeping and the child goes to sleep, let us say by 1 o'clock in the night and sleeps till 9 o'clock in the morning. That's the only time my daughter can sleep. Now I am here sitting expecting her to wake up in the morning, do her exercise. Now tell me, my expectation is bad or good? Terrible, no? Terrible father I am. What should I do? Sit up late in the night, take care of the granddaughter. I don't do that. I go to sleep by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I sleep till 6 o'clock in the morning. I wake up at 6 o'clock and do my exercises, meditation. And I expect, now how is this even justified? This is my imagination that she should do her exercises on time. But the reality, I do not understand her world from her point of view, and that leads to either anger or worry in me. Completely unjustified imaginary expectation of mine. It can never be justified. I have to live her life. Then only I will be able to correctly expect what could be the reality in a situation there. Maybe if like that, I have been a mother, perhaps Forget about exercises. Even housework I will not do. Cooking I will not do. I will be faltering in every dimension. Perhaps she is 10 times, 100 times better than me today. Because I'm not in her shoes, it gives me the license to imagine a particular expectation which is unfortunately never going to be satisfied. So it's entirely my imagination, my mistake. Am I right? You consider your own list of expectation and ask yourself, are they really justified? You will not be able to justify even one imaginary expectation of yours because they are imaginary. It's as simple as that. Nothing more than that. Our mental states constantly aggravate our worries. See, what happens is we sometimes get into the loop. Sir, one lady is there. She wants to get a job. She is currently employed in an organization and her project is ended. Another project must come. The project is not coming that easily. So she is worried. She is worried for two things. One, if that project does not come, then she will be given lesser salary because the project allowance that this will not come. This is number one worry. Number two worry is now she is imagining. Now how let's see how the imaginary horse is now, is now running fast. She's my resume, it will look like I am not good enough for another project. Then I will not get a job somewhere else. Now I have taken loan for this medical loan, that loan, this loan I have taken. I have to pay EMI. I have taken a car loan. I have taken EMI. I need to pay loan for that. Where will I go for a loan? What is the problem? For 1 week, she has not got a project. The reality is for last 1 week, she doesn't have work. But salary is going to come for her. But she's already thinking 3, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year ahead of time and disproportionately imagining the quantum of the problem. It is useful to imagine the future and plan the scenarios, but it is useless to use the technique of imagination for building up your stress and worry. A child is there, it is growing up. Today she is 8 years old, 9 years old. Okay, let's say take my example of my daughter. I have 2 daughters. My first daughter, Janani, when she was in the 5th standard or so, she was the tallest in the class. If I am sitting and worrying, what if she continues to grow this fast? She is the tallest among all the boys and girls. That means when she finishes growing, she would probably around 10 feet tall. My imagination. Okay, she is already taller, at least about 6 inches taller than all the boys. The tallest boy, she is 6 inches taller. Now imagine when she finishes growing, I am now imagining, thinking in my own imagination, oh no, she will be at least around 10 feet tall, 8 feet tall, 7 feet tall. Now the next worry, where will I go for a groom for her? She is studying, she is what, 9 years old, 8 years old. I am thinking what will happen to her when she is 25 years old, 30 years old. Is it necessary for me? Half the people I meet in my life who come to me and says, I'm now affected by stress, I ask them, why are you stressed out? It will be something which is some 10 steps, 20 steps, 30 steps ahead. And they're imagining it as if it is going to happen today. Is it necessary at all? Completely unnecessary. Because it's an infinite loop that we are caught into. We are caught into this loop of worrying. My mother is a classic example. Brilliant lady, fantastic person, who helped to build a school, a slum school she converted into a beautiful middle school with concrete building. The Lions Club of Chennai, South Chennai or something like that is running that school. I'm very proud of her, great source of inspiration for me. This lady one day was sitting at home looking at the ceiling, very worried. I asked her, Amma, why are you worried? One point of time you were worried. Naturally, we were very poor. You were a middle class family and you had your two daughters were growing up, and you were running in a small school, government aided school. Your husband, my father, was working in railways as a clerk. So very minimum money was coming. We all had to be educated, and worst of all, you had me as the son. I gave you enough heart trouble while I was growing. I was a terrible fellow to be disciplined, and highly disciplined fellow, and I will not listen to anybody. If you tell me to do something, I will do the opposite of what you tell me to do. Imagine growing a child like this in the house. How difficult, no, for a mother, right? And she is vigorously nodding her head. And no, I know, I'm having one child like that, 8th standard, so he's just getting into the teenage. So one of the most difficult ages to handle a child. So I was like that. Now where is the worry? We all have grown up. I am settled. Your first daughter has become doctorate in mathematics. She is settled. Her children are settled. They've all become American citizens, or at least settled in the United States. And your younger daughter has become an American citizen, and she is also well settled, youngest daughter. So where is the worry? My mother told me, Murali, all my life I was worried. Today I don't have any worry. Therefore I am worried. It's a habit. It's an infinite loop. It's a mental state. It's a choice that you make. Just like how you open the door first thing in the morning, look at all the colorful dresses and choose a shirt or a dress to wear that day. Like that. Worry is a mental state that you choose every morning. Every now and then you choose that particular mental state. And that state aggravates the worry. It's your choice. Perhaps it is convenient for you to worry, because somebody else will come and say, "Yo, Papa, you have this trouble." Or, "Don't worry, I will take care." Very nice. Problem solved. Right? So it's nice to portray a picture of a worrisome face to the world. Perhaps it is convenient for you, but certainly not useful for your health, useful for your mental state of being. Several such mental states causes or aggravates worry, inefficiency in doing things. Sir, one child is there, or one girl is there, let us say, and this girl wants to really shine in her work. So she says, "Look, I want to study in depth how I can improve myself." Watches YouTube videos, signs up for online courses, goes through various materials, writes, takes notes, writes. This goes on for 3, 4, 5 weeks, 2, 3 months, gone. All right? Zero output. 100% input has gone. At the end of 3 months, she sits back and thoroughly worried. She comes and asks, "I don't know how I'm going to make money. 3 months I have not had any money. I have not done any work. I'm going to really suffer because I have not done anything that is going to give me money." Efficiency is output divided by input. You learn a lesson, you implement that lesson, you experiment, you try whether you can succeed with that lesson. Once you try and experiment and show some output, you can learn from it and say, "Aha, I've got this very nice lesson. I think I can improve upon it." So it's plan, do, check, act, improve. This is a continual improvement cycle. Constantly you plan, you act on it. Okay, but you check, you verify, validate whether that action is important. Action can be in the form of thought, it can be in the form of word, it can be in the form of deed, but some action should be there. It has to produce a result. Then only we can verify. If it doesn't produce a result, then there is no way we can improve upon it. You understand, sir, what I'm saying? Am I right in saying this? So inefficiency can cause further worries. Lack of confidence can cause further worries. Self-doubt. Even before we start something, self-doubt starts. I want to do this, but I don't know whether it will come out correctly or not. Just thinking in this itself, the person doesn't start work. Stays in the same point zero, step zero. It's okay, it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail often. It's okay to fail privately. It's okay to fail at low cost. Take it, fail it. Don't worry. Let the world not know about your failure. Fail often, fail internally, fail at low cost, experiment. Only then you can learn. But unfortunately, in Indian, particularly Indian custom, perhaps in other Western countries also, our education system and the social system, family as well as the work environment, does not encourage failures. It punishes failure. If a child is sitting in a class, the teacher is drawing, let us say, a tiger, teaching how to draw a tiger or draw a cat. One of the easiest things a child learns first is to draw a cat. But the child is inquisitive. The child says, I want to draw a detailed diagram of a child, of a cat. Okay? And goes into some 1 hour of drawing. But the teacher has 40 minutes of class. She has 40 students. And she has drawn something on the board and expects every child to copy the drawing. No scope for experimentation at all. And the child, one child is sitting there taking 1 hour to draw complete detailed, extremely beautiful drawing. Very detailed, fantastic looking. What do you think the teacher will do? Teacher will call the child and say, fantastic, very good, appreciate. Nicely one whack, stand up on the bench, get out of the school, get out of the class. If you don't follow me, Children, I believe, are born inventive. And then they get educated. Correct? Right? They are born inventive, but then they get educated. Once they get educated, they become like factory-made machines. They follow that mold. And that kills the confidence in the child. Same is the case with us. We try something, we fail, and then we lose our confidence. We say, no, I don't know how to improve myself from here. And we suffer. And that further aggravates our worries. Oh, I've tried it. It has not. Okay, you tried. When did you try? 6 months ago? 1 year ago? 2 years ago? Why are you worried about it now? Try again. No? So what? That confidence to say, I can meet failures, but I am not a failure until I give up on myself, is the true confidence. You understand what I'm saying? I meet failures. It's like going on the road, on the side of it you see several milestones. Failure is a milestone, you cross. Nobody has succeeded without failing. So you fail a few times, you meet milestones, you cross, and eventually you will succeed. But if you meet a failure and then you sit down and say, oh my God, I am a failure. Now see the difference. See the difference between the vocabulary? I meet failure versus I am a failure. See the difference? When I say I meet failures, failure is different. I am different. I meet failures. It's okay. I say, hello, how are you? Hello, my dear failure. How are you? Very nice. Okay, I'll see you again. Move on. Meet another failure. Hello, I met another failure, your friend, some time ago. I meet you again. Very nice, fantastic. Move, go to the next one. One more failure. Very nice. All right. So you learn through your failures. I have learned so much from my failures than through my successes. In fact, success is very intoxicating. You don't learn much from your successes. If you really ask anybody who has been successful in their life, they will tell you that they have never learned much from their success. Sir, one YouTube video I put, sir, again another example I will give you. Sir. Suddenly it goes viral. Lots of people see that. Next video, not even 1,000 people see it. Next video, not even 300 people, not even 200 people. Now I have no idea why some of my videos have gone viral. I have till today no idea. I have put 1,000 videos. Okay. I have done so many products in my life. I have sold so much in my life. I have managed so many people in my life. I have managed hundreds of projects in my life. But I have not been consistent in my successes. Reason? I don't know the signs of failure. Please understand what I'm saying carefully. I do not know the science of failure. If I know how to fail, I will always succeed. Do you understand what I'm saying? I will avoid all those landmines. And I will always succeed. Sometimes it takes years. Sir, I was married in 1990 I married. I met my wife in 1989. Okay, it took me 30 years or so to understand her. Why? So many failures in life. So many times got beaten up, lost arguments with her. And in the process I realized, number one, never argue with your wife. You will always lose that argument. Number one. Absolutely correct, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Great, sir. Where were you, sir, before? You could have taught me this, no? This is the problem with people. They don't put this out on the internet. You know? They will tell you how to convince your wife. 100 people would have written blog about it. Never argue with your wife. Show me one blog like this, you will not find. They don't share, men especially, never share their wisdom. And come to class like this and you are sitting and acknowledging here. Anyway, so you fail. I failed so many times as to how to handle difficult situations. And you learn and you learn and learn and you improve yourself. You get better in the process. That gives you confidence. Confidence will come only through failure. And lack of confidence will aggravate your worry. Fear will aggravate your worry. Unnecessary imaginary fear. I heard a beautiful definition. I read a beautiful definition of the word fear. False evidence appearing real, I believe. False evidence appearing real. F-E-A-R. Example I read, beautiful example. It actually opened my eyes. I believe cockroach is one of the cleanest and friendliest insect in the whole world. I probably will not agree with the second part of the statement. Friendliest, no, okay. Definitely not from, I am not going to be friends with the cockroach for the rest of my life, that's for sure. Somehow, you get repelled by just the look of that insect. And especially if it starts to fly, you want to be in the other end of the world. All right. But I believe it cannot bite. Nobody has ever died because of cockroach bite. I'm not sure if the statistics is correct or wrong, but certainly you don't see any pandemic and epidemic starting because of cockroaches. All right. Now this is a fact, this is an evidence, but my mind does not want to believe in this evidence. It wants to believe that it is dangerous, it is harmful, it can hurt, it can even kill, is the feeling that I get. False evidence appearing real. Fear can cause this problem. What can happen when we allow these mindsets, when we allow these worries to develop in us? First, physical ailments. We fall sick. Do you know that about 95+% of diseases in the world are psychosomatic diseases, psychological diseases? All right. So I asked one person, one of my psychologist friend, I asked, does it mean that people who are mentally retarded don't fall sick? You know what she told me? Yes. I was shocked. Correct, no? Simple logic, no? Mentally healthy people fall sick because of psychological problems. That means psychologically affected people should not fall sick so often. Generally they don't fall sick, I believe. I know, if you go to a mental hospital, she works in a mental hospital, and she told me that people do not fall sick that easily in a mental hospital. The patients there do not fall sick. So clearly you can see that empirical data this is. When we are afraid, when we have worries, we end up falling sick. Blood pressure problem, heart problem, various other nervous disorder, digestion problems, all of this begins in that. Second, we start contaminating our genetic center. Blemishes of the soul begins because in an emotional state of mind, it triggers various other mistakes, wrong decisions, wrong words spoken, unnecessary arguments, curses from other people, negative thinking. All of these are blemishes in our soul, and it leads to problems in the mind. When we worry often, we cannot have the self-esteem. We forget our self-worth. We forget why we have come into this world. We forget who we are. We forget that the other end of our mind is almighty consciousness. We forget that we are a fraction of the totality. In the process, we live in an illusionary world. We live with our ego. Ego leads to further sin imprints. And those sin imprints further creates contaminations and blemishes of the soul, and the process repeats itself. More and more problems get attracted to our life. Our success eventually goes away because we have fallen prey to this disease called as worries. There are several reasons why worries may come. Actions can bring worry to us. Anger can bring worry to us. Sir, it's okay to get angry, sir. Once in a while you think that it is okay to get angry. You think that it is fine to say some words in anger. Okay? After you say what you say, you sit and worry about it. You think about, yo, why did I say this statement? You come back, you have to come back home, no, for dinner. Where will you go? All right. The problems will begin once again. So anger can lead to worry. So remember that every action of yours has to be thought through very carefully. Will this action cause worry in us? Vengeance can cause worry. Vengeance is stored up anger. It can cause worry. It can cause serious worry for yourself, serious worry for the other person. Jealousy can cause worry. When we compare, when we don't know who we are, when we don't have the picture of how worth we are, we don't have an analysis or understanding of the self-worth, we unfortunately end up comparing ourselves with another human being. We say, oh, this person is more successful. I should be as successful as he. Why am I not so successful? So therefore I am jealous of this person. Instead of saying, yesterday I was like this, today I am like this. Can I become a better person as compared to yesterday to today? Now this is comparing my old self with my new self. Have I become a better version of myself today? When I am able to become a better version of myself, then I am progressing better. I am not jealous. I don't compare myself with the other person. Every person is unique. I don't need to be you. I don't have to copy you. I don't have to mimic you. I can be myself. I cannot be Vedatri Maharishi, but I can be a good disciple of him. I don't need to be Vedatri Maharishi. Alright? As long as I am serving his calling, his ideas, his vision, and as long as I am playing a small part in that world of Vedatriyam, I should be satisfied. As long as I am within this umbrella and I am working selflessly without any expectation, I have done my duty. I don't have to say, Swamiji is like this. Why am I not a Swamiji? I will never become a Swamiji. Swamiji is only one Swamiji. Nobody can become a Swamiji, right? There is only one Vedatri Maharishi. There will only be one Vedatri Maharishi in the world. Every saint who was born in this world is unique, and they can only remain by themselves. Nobody else can come and take that place. We don't need to. The good news is we don't need to, because we have something unique for ourselves. We can take pride in what we do. We can feel contented within the sphere of what we do. We allow jealousy to take a place, take roots in our hearts. It will lead to significant amount of problems in the future, especially worries. Hatred can lead to worries. Greed can lead to worries. Indiscipline can lead to worries. Boastfulness can lead to worries. I am better than you. Know what I did? The moment, see, the problem with Indians particularly, maybe this is there in several parts of the world, when we do something right, it is always because of me. Correct? When something goes wrong, what do? That fellow did it. You know where this habit came from? I'll tell you where this came from. In our homes, we have a small child. The child is walking. It trips. Okay, it is walking. It is tripping on the side of a table or some stone or something like that. It's falling. What will the elders do in our family? Immediately, we will go on, take the child, and then what do? Hit the table. This table hit you, Damal. What did the table, poor table, do? It is just sitting there. How can the table come and hit the child? So we are teaching it to the child from the childhood onwards. If you get into trouble, put the blame on the table. This becomes a big issue as the child grows up. When it can't find what to put the blame on, it will put the blame on the spouse, put the blame on the boss, put the blame on the colleague, put the blame on the auto driver, put the blame on everybody else other than himself. It doesn't take accountability of his or her own behavior. Disrespect can lead to worries. Disrespect for elders, their words, disrespect for the system, disrespect for the society, disrespect for law can lead to serious worry. Number one reason for tuberculosis in India, you know what? Disrespect for the society. You know how this is affecting? Spitting on the road. You do not see the same Indians going to Singapore will not spit on the road. Because there it is $1,000 fine. That is why they say Singapore is a fine country. Right? Everything they will put fine. It's a very fine country. Disrespect can lead to worries, diseases, various kind of problems. Unnecessary fear. Fear itself is imaginary. And imagine the unnecessary fear. Unwanted fear. Something that you can do nothing about. What can you do anything about? Sir, somebody is afraid of rain. What should they do? Take an umbrella and go. Somebody is afraid of criticisms by other person. What should they do? What should they do? Similar umbrella only. Close your ears and go. It's okay, yeah, let them criticize. How does it matter? Sir, this is why India is a great country to take respect, to give respect and to take inspiration from. For these kind of criticism, how to handle criticism, you can learn from a cow on the street. The cow on the street will not move. You honk, you honk, I don't care. Rain, it will not move. You throw stone at it, it will not move. You shout at it, it will not move. Okay? The buffalo skin is a great inspiration for anybody who wants to handle criticisms of others. Completely ignore and move on in life. Which is one of the beautiful methods of handling worries. Lure for power can lead to worries. People say money is important. Without money, we cannot succeed in life. I want to ask you, if anybody has got a 100 rupee, 500 rupee note, anybody? 50 rupee, 10 rupee note, Indian rupee? Anybody? Ma, take that note, ma. What is the note you have? What is the value of the note you have? Anybody? Anyone else? Don't worry, I'm not going to take your money. Just want it for the class. All right. Keep it with you and tell me, what is the value of the note? 100 rupees. 100 rupees, huh? Right. Huh? And one rupee, one note you take. 100 rupee note. Who told you it is 100 rupees? Government of India told you it is 100 rupees. Which officer in the government of India told you this is 100 rupee note? RBI governor has written. Has he written anywhere that it is value of 100 rupees? Where is it written? I promise to pay the bearer a sum of rupees 100 only. Correct? Signed by RBI governor. Now tell me, if you take this note, 100 rupee note, and give it to the RBI governor, will he give you 100 rupees? Am I confusing you? You only told me, it is written in that note, I hereby promise to pay the bearer a sum of rupees 100 only. Correct? That means he is promising to pay you 100 rupees. If you go and give this to the RBI governor, will he give you 100 rupees? He has to, but he will give you. Has anybody ever seen an actual 100 rupee note? You are totally confused, no? I am now doing something to your psyche. I am not doing anything. What you are holding in your hand is not the real note. It is a promissory note. I value it as 100, you value it as 100. Therefore, we use that as a mode of exchange. You are giving me a promise, I am giving you a promise because somebody else has written and given to you that this is a promissory note. We believe him and therefore we are exchanging this as an acceptable legal tender, legal exchange document. That's all it is. Now what do? We imagine that money is very powerful, lure of power. What do? We go to Lakshmi temple. We sit in front of Lakshmi and we pray, Lakshmi Mata, please make me very rich. Now there is no Lakshmi, first of all, in this whole world or universe. But supposing there is a Lakshmi like this, what do you think that Lakshmi will do? She must be laughing like the way you are laughing right now. See, Baba, you tell me, your RBI governor has printed this money, and that itself is not the real money, it is a promissory note. You are imagining it to be money, and in your imagination you are coming and asking me to give you a lot more money. Where will I go? I have nothing to do with this. You please go and ask. Do the same prayer in front of RBI governor's office or in his house, or do whatever you want, wherever you want to go and ask the money. I have nothing to do with the money. See, imagine, now we are worried. What do we, now, money itself is imagination. We are all living in an imaginary lure of power, and in that imagine, what if that money is not there in the future? What if the money is not? You work, you remove the pain of the society, society will give you this so-called legal tender. Correct, na sir? So you all have come here to learn the meditation. You are getting value out of this workshop, and you are gaining value, and then you are saying, very nice, I am gaining value. Therefore, I will give a little bit of money. So there is a value transaction that is taking place. There is no worry here. Otherwise, worry increases. Defects in our system causes worries. Mental frequency increases. Life energy is wasted. Blood pressure is disturbed. Indigestion increases. Ulcer develops in us. Headache comes for us. Breathing problem, asthmatic issues. Asthmatic issue comes only because of stress. I know one lady, she's running a business. Okay, meditation student only. She will be normal for most of the times. But beginning of the month, she will have asthmatic attack. Why? Only one reason. Not enough money, salaries have to be paid. Asthmatic attack. Repeatedly I am seeing this pattern. But we must understand the problems. The moment we understand the root cause of problems, we begin not to worry. You understand the difference between the two. Problems are real, worries are imaginary. We must get rid of worries, but we must solve problems. You understand the difference between the two? Worries are real in most cases. Pain is real in most cases. Suffering is imaginary. My father-in-law has only one eye. He lost one eye in a lab explosion, chemical lab explosion, sir. This man has got extreme extremely high tolerance for money, for pain. One day he was coming by bicycle in Dehradun. He had already lost one eye, right eye is gone for him. While he was coming, that coconut leaf, cut his left eye. Blood was oozing. Immediately they rushed him to the doctor. Middle of the night, the doctor had to operate him, but he did not have enough anesthesia in his home clinic to treat him. So whatever little anesthesia was there, he put it and he started stitching. Halfway through the actual stitching process, the anesthesia wore out, but he kept quiet. At the end of that operation, he was telling the doctor, "Doctor, do you have extra anesthesia or a painkiller?" Doctor is asking, "Is it painful?" "Doctor, halfway through your operation, your anesthesia wore out. I'm in extremely excruciatingly painful situation. Please do something about it." This he is saying in a very dignified, slow, polite manner. Okay. That day my respect for him went up sky high. There's no way I can tolerate that level of pain. Problems are real. Pain is real. Worry is totally imaginary, totally unnecessary. Problems lead to worries. Understand the root cause of worries. Real, genuine problems lead to worry. You want money, you don't have money, problem. Okay, credit card has to be paid. Today is the last day. You don't have money in the bank, worry. All right. Next month rent has to be paid. You have lost your job, worry. Exam is coming. The child has not studied for the exam. You also have not studied for his exam, worry. Worry comes when there are genuine problems. So understand the difference between problems and worry. Problems are real. You cannot live without problems. Tell me, is there anybody in this room who is without problems? Raise your hand. No problem at all, sir. Whatever, life is completely peaceful, absolutely no issues. Not even one person will raise their hands. None. All of us have problems. But you will find people without worry. I am an example of it. Okay, many of our sky professors are example of it. People who have been practicing the simplified Kundalini yoga, you will find them without worry, but you will find them with problems. There's a difference between the two. Problems are real, correct, Amma? Right? So there is go. Another example of a person without any worries. But you ask her a list of problems, she'll give you a huge list she will give you. I'm sure about that. One can easily live without worries. You cannot live without problems, but you can easily live without worries. It is your choice. Worry is a choice. Stress is a choice. Fear is a choice that you make for yourself. Because perhaps it is convenient for you to feel worry. Yes, sir. It is a temporary, imaginary stress. There is something called as eustress and distress. Little bit of stress will make them temporarily perform better. If they get addicted to that level of stress, then it will lead to distress. Performance will suffer over a period of time. Some of the best performing human beings, for instance, Leonardo DiCaprio, considered one of the famous actors, the best actors that Hollywood has ever seen. He functions best only when his mind is in a flow. This is written in a beautiful book called as Flow, and he has talked many times about it. And at that frequency, his mind is functioning in the alpha frequency, very calm state, no stress. The best performing, for instance, you take any music director, their best produced album comes out only when their mind is in alpha stage. Find some of the best artists in the world. They create some of their best, finest art albums or paintings only when they are performing at the alpha frequency. When you have learned your Duriya meditation, you are beginning to experience that alpha frequency. Stress is not necessary at all in that state. Alpha is by far the best state of mind to be there throughout the day. No matter what you are doing, remain at alpha. Even while you are performing some other work, meditate, keep your mind, not necessarily keep your eyes closed. Open your eyes, but feel the life force at the Durya Chakra. You're eating, keep your mind at Durya Chakra. You're driving, keep your mind at Durya Chakra. Concentrate on the road. Don't forget concentration on the road. But feel the life force pulsating constantly at the Sahasrara Chakra. Your mind will remain at the alpha frequency. All right? There are a few essentials for eradicating worries. Number one, understand the laws of nature. There is an effect for a cause. There is a result for an action. You understand the law of karma, law of cause and effect, law of action result. You will have less worries. Improve your ability to remain at alpha and think and analyze. Remember that worry is not going to help you solve your problems. The only way to solve your problem is to think and analyze. Am I right? Can worry help you to solve your problems? What will happen to the problems if you constantly worry? Problems will only escalate. Sir, one boy he wants to earn money, but he doesn't have the ability to concentrate and earn money. He doesn't learn meditation. He's just sitting quiet at home. He's constantly saying, I want to earn money, but I don't know where I should earn money. I don't know what skill will be useful. I don't want to try because I'm worried that I will be failure. What do you think is going to happen to his problem? Doesn't have money, doesn't have a job. Will that get solved by his worry? It's only going to get compounded. It's going to get worse and worse. Self-confidence will go for a toss. He will lose his confidence. Unstinting efforts will help somebody not have worries. Now remember, courage is not having fear. It is about having fear and doing what you need to do right. Sir, I'm afraid of cockroach, let us say. But my granddaughter is also afraid of cockroach. A cockroach is coming near her and she is crying. What should I do? I should say, oh, I'm also worried. I'll stand up on the bench. Will it help the child? Okay, I'm worried. Go do something. Take the broomstick or take a towel, put it over the cockroach, catch it, throw it, and then shake. No problem. All right? Shiver afterwards. But do what you must do at that point of time. That is courage. Being courageous is about doing what you must do, even if you are afraid. It is not about absence of fear. It is about having fear and doing what you must do as your duty. Swamiji has given 4 beautiful ways of handling fear. Please write this down. 1. Write down the problems that you need to endure in life. Problems that you must accept and say, there is no solution for this, I have to deal with it. In 2018, 2017, my 3 children got married. My first son got married in July, 2 daughters got married in December 2017. Come 2018, January, my wife had to undergo a test. The test results came out saying that she had breast cancer. What could we do? We had to endure that process. 2019, after a series of chemo treatment and also a couple of operations and radiation therapy, 33 sessions of radiation therapy, she was given clean sheet saying completely healed of it. 2022, October 4th, early morning she gets up saying that I have some problem in my stomach. Doctor says go do a test. We go and do a test, come back. The results comes back saying the breast cancer has now grown into the liver. She lived for about 6 months. March 20th, 2023, she completed her life. What can anybody do about it? We all have come to this planet with a confirmed return ticket. Someday I'm going to go. So what? Doesn't mean that I should be worried. Okay, I took time. I took about 3-4 weeks to recover from the loss. It's probably something that I will never be able to reconcile